You've been sold a beautiful lie, and you bought it with your soul. They told you that kindness was the currency of the strong, that vulnerability would save you. But now look around. The wolves are feasting, and you're still asking for mercy. Here's what they won't tell you. No one respects a man who bleeds without reason, breaks without fight, or begs to be seen. Power is not given, it is taken, and only by those cold enough to take it without the guilt. You were programmed to lose, and you never questioned the code. From childhood, they installed a framework in your mind. Be nice, play fair, follow the rules. They called it being a good person. But what they really meant was, be predictable, be manageable, be weak. You absorbed it all. The belief that goodness would be rewarded, that hard work automatically leads to recognition, that doing the right thing means the right things will happen to you. It's beautiful, isn't it? This fairy tale they sold you while the real players moved in silence, took what they wanted, and left you wondering why life feels so empty. You've been playing life like a loyal servant, waiting for permission to rise, but permission is a myth told by kings to keep men like you in chains. From this point on, you will rebuild yourself like a tactician, not a dreamer. There is no savior coming, no mentor with all the answers, no lover who will heal your wounds. This path is lonely by design, and if that scares you, good, that means you're still human. Every just be yourself was code for stay small. Every good things come to those who wait was permission for others to take what's yours while you stood in line like a good boy. And here's the brutal truth. That version of you, the one clinging to fairness and hoping for the best, he's not noble, he's naive. And in a world where perception is reality and strategy is survival, naive men don't rise, they get used. You've built your entire identity on a foundation handed to you by cowards. They told you to be good, be liked, be moral, but only when it served their agenda. What has that earned you? Rejection disguised as it's not you, it's me. Confusion wrapped in false hope. Weakness masquerading as virtue. The truth is brutal. The version of you you're clinging to was designed to be used. Your habits, your beliefs, your emotional reactions, they've all been coded by someone else's agenda. That version of you has served its purpose. It kept you hidden, compliant, forgettable. But now that skin must be ripped off like armor forged from lies. The system didn't break you by accident. It broke you by design. Think about it. From school to work to relationships, what gets rewarded? Compliance. Following instructions, not making waves. They don't want critical thinkers. They want efficient followers. People who do what they're told and feel grateful for the opportunity. Social media trained you to seek validation from strangers. Dating apps turned you into a beggar swiping for scraps of attention. Corporate culture taught you to smile while they extract your best years for profit. And somewhere along the way, you started believing this was just how life works. But here's what Machiavelli understood 500 years ago. The rules are for people who can't make their own. The moral high ground is often just a higher ground for better targets. You were taught to play chess while everyone else was playing poker. Different games, different rules, different outcomes. And while you were trying to be honourable, they were studying your moves, your patterns, and your weaknesses. The world rewards those who appear kind while secretly respecting those who are calculating enough to appear kind while remaining dangerous. You've been playing with full transparency while they've been wearing masks. The illusion isn't that bad people exist, it's that good people always win. The illusion is that the universe has some sort of cosmic sense of justice. The illusion is that if you just work hard enough, care enough, sacrifice enough, the world will notice and reward you accordingly. But the world doesn't reward goodness, it rewards effectiveness. It rewards those who understand the game well enough to win it. Let's get honest about what being the good guy has actually earned you. Relationships where you gave everything and got breadcrumbs in return. Jobs where you worked twice as hard for half the recognition. Friendships where you were the emotional support, but never the one they called with good news. You became everyone's therapist, but nobody's first choice. Everyone's backup plan, but nobody's priority. The reliable one, the safe one, the one who would never leave, never complain, never demand better. And every time you got passed over, overlooked, or outright disrespected, you told yourself the same lie. At least I'm a good person, as if your goodness was some kind of consolation prize for a life half lived. But here's what that goodness really was: fear. Fear of conflict, fear of being disliked, fear of having to stand alone. You chose to be agreeable because disagreeing felt dangerous. You chose to be available because boundaries felt selfish. You chose to be understanding because demanding better felt mean. That wasn't virtue. That was cowardice wearing a halo. You've been bleeding out emotionally for free, explaining yourself to people who don't deserve explanations, giving your energy to those who wouldn't invest $1 in your dreams. Every time you said yes when you meant no, you sold a piece of your power. The cost? You taught people that your time had no value, your energy was free, your respect was optional. You became a human doormat and then wondered why everyone kept wiping their feet on you. Your pain has value if you stop running from it. Every betrayal, every insult, every failure, they're all bricks. But instead of stacking them into a fortress, you've been using them to build a monument to your own victimhood. Niccolo Machiavelli wrote The Prince in 1513, not as a manual for evil, but as a blueprint for reality. He looked at power as it actually operates, not as we wish it would operate. And what he found was simple. Everyone sees what you appear to be. Few experience what you really are. This isn't about becoming heartless. This is about becoming strategic. Machiavelli understood something that most people never will. The world respects strength, not goodness. It responds to power, not purity. And if you want to build something that lasts, whether it's a career, a relationship, or a legacy, you need to understand how the game is actually played. It is better to be feared than loved if you cannot be both. Not because fear is inherently good, but because respect rooted in strength lasts longer than affection rooted in convenience. But more than that, a wise prince must imitate the fox and the lion. The fox for its cunning, the lion for its strength. You must become both, but never show either completely. Look at the people who shaped history. They weren't the nicest people in the room. They were the most effective. They understood that noble intentions without strategic thinking led to noble failures. This doesn't mean becoming a sociopath. It means becoming socially intelligent. It means understanding that every interaction is a negotiation. Every relationship has power dynamics, and every situation requires you to choose. Will you be the player or the played? The shift isn't moral, it's mental. From reactive to strategic, from hopeful to realistic, from seeking approval to commanding respect. You don't abandon your values, you armor them with intelligence. There's a part of you you've buried, the rage, the fear, the cold calculation. You were told to lock it away, that darkness makes you bad. But they lied. That shadow inside you isn't weakness. It's your unused power, raw, sharp, waiting to be turned into a weapon. You don't destroy the dark, you train it, aim it, and unleash it when it matters. Your pain has value if you stop running from it. Every betrayal, every insult, every failure, they're all bricks. Stack them, build with them. Darkness is not the opposite of light, it is the depth behind it. You will never be complete until you look at the part of yourself that wanted revenge, wanted domination, wanted to destroy and say, I see you, I need you. Burn the old blueprint. That version of you who apologizes for existing, he dies today. The one who explains himself to people who haven't earned explanations, gone. The one who gives his energy away for free, extinct. You don't fix broken code, you delete it and write new code. Your comfort zone is a coffin in disguise, padded, quiet, slow death. The fire you feel right now is your signal to break the shell, not coddle it. Rebirth always begins in violence, and violence doesn't ask permission. You either shatter the shell or you die in it. And death isn't always physical, sometimes it's a life unlived. No more compromise disguised as balance. You don't need healing, you need reprogramming. A ruthless purge of your emotional code. Weak men try to fix themselves while holding on to their comfort. Strong men erase everything and start with a sharpened edge. Master strategic control. Control isn't about pretending to be calm. It's about owning the battlefield inside your head. You've been reacting like a puppet every time someone pulls your strings. That ends now. From this moment forward, you are no longer a man who bleeds out emotionally for free. You are a vault, a weapon with a locked trigger. No reaction becomes your new reaction. Powerful men don't need to prove they're strong. They simply never lose composure. They let others bark, lash out, flinch, and expose themselves. But the strategist? He watches. He lets the emotional explode, then moves in when the smoke clears. Your control is not passivity, it's calculated restraint. The art of letting people destroy themselves while you stand untouched. You must begin to see your emotions as tools, not truths. Anger is fuel, but never your driver. Fear is information, not identity. Sadness? Use it to deepen focus, not drown in it. The world wants men to be emotionally available so they can be emotionally manipulated. But you build walls, not wounds. You think 5 moves ahead, not 5 seconds behind. The man who cannot control himself will never control anything external. The man who reacts loses. And in a game where perception rules, your greatest threat isn't others, it's your impulsive self. Here's your new rule. If it triggers you, it owns you. If it owns you, it beats you. If it beats you, you are still weak. Fix that or be used forever. Weaponize your observation. Most people stumble through interactions blind. They assume, react, and hope for the best. You watch, you study, you collect data. When you walk into a room, you're not there to be seen. You're there to study. Who's insecure? Who's posturing? Who can't hold silence? Power leaks from people who talk too much, move too fast, and need too badly. You stay still. You let them show you their weaknesses. You don't intimidate with noise, you disarm with silence. Real dominance is quiet. Stop needing to be liked and start needing to be aware. Study patterns, not promises. People will tell you who they are if you watch long enough. Does their tone shift when you speak truth? Do their eyes dart when you ask for clarity? These are signals, tells on the battlefield. Most people are broadcasting weakness while begging to appear strong. You must become fluent in body language, emotional microshifts, linguistic traps. You're not paranoid, you're precise. You're not cold, you're calculating. This isn't about manipulation, it's about survival. In a world full of masks and motives, you either see through the game or get played by it. Build strategic alliances, not friendships. Friendship is emotional, alliance is strategic. And a strategist builds relationships based on mutual value, not mutual feelings. You don't need people who keep you company. You need people who keep you focused. You don't need bonding, you need alignment. Your time is now too valuable for accidental relationships. If someone is in your life, they should serve a purpose. Growth, elevation, strategy, expansion. It's not heartless, it's efficient. Kings didn't keep court jesters close. They kept warriors, advisors, and builders. Cut emotion, insert purpose. This doesn't mean you become cold. It means you become discerning. You learn to recognize value. You ask, what does this person bring to my future? Do they make me sharper, stronger, smarter? Do they hold a standard or do they make excuses? And if they don't elevate your game, they're draining it. That's not betrayal, that's reality. Stop fearing truth. Learn to audit your circle like a war council. Who's watching your blind spots? Who's challenging your thinking? Who's adding to your mission when you're not looking? If the answer is no one, then you're surrounded, not supported. And you will fall, not from enemies, but from weak links disguised as loyalty. Master the art of strategic masks. You were told to be yourself, but that advice is for men who want to stay weak. The truth? No one rises in this world without a collection of masks. You must become whoever the moment requires without hesitation, without shame. Authenticity is a luxury. Adaptation is power. You must learn the art of false virtue. The world rewards those who appear kind while secretly respecting those who are calculating enough to appear kind while remaining dangerous. This isn't about faking. It's about constructing your legend. You are the author of your identity, and no man climbs high by broadcasting his true intent. Tell them what they want to hear while doing what needs to be done. Keep them comfortable, but never informed. Masks are not weakness, they are armor. Your truth means nothing if it makes you vulnerable, so keep it locked. Your value is not in being real. Your value is in being unknowable. Build ruthless boundaries. Every time you say yes when you mean no, you sell a piece of your power. Every time you explain yourself to people who don't deserve it, you lower your value. Boundaries aren't selfish. They're sacred architecture protecting your mind, energy, and empire, and most men have none. Let this burn into your bones. No one respects what is always accessible. Your time, your energy, your presence, they must be earned, not expected. People will take everything from you, not because they're evil, but because they're wired to consume what's unguarded. From now on, no becomes your first language. No explanations, no guilt, no delay. If someone reacts badly to your boundaries, good. That means they were benefiting from your lack of them. You're not becoming bitter, you're becoming bulletproof. Your time is earned, your presence is currency, your boundaries are non-negotiable. Master strategic silence, the unnerving power of the pause. Silence is not weakness. It's a calculated strike waiting in the dark. The loudest man in the room reveals himself, his insecurities through volume, his desperation through constant speech, his fear through inability to sit with tension. But the silent man, he's the one everyone watches because his stillness doesn't mean absence. It means preparation, observation, control. Most men don't understand this. They equate silence with awkwardness, with social failure. They try to fill every gap in conversation because they're terrified of what others might think in the pause. But silence is not a gap, it's a blade. It cuts deeper than words ever could when held correctly. Silence makes people project, confess, reveal, all while you sit unmoved, unshaken, and unread. The world teaches you to speak often, to share, to express. But the Machiavellian strategist knows better. The more you say, the more you expose. And once exposed, you're predictable. Every time you open your mouth out of compulsion, you lose leverage. Every word must be weighed, every phrase measured. Speak only when speaking builds power, not when silence does it better. When you speak, people should feel a weight drop in the air. They should lean in because silence from you is the norm, so your voice becomes an event. You no longer speak to validate. You speak to direct, to destroy illusions, to declare decisions. Precision over performance. Train yourself to be the last to speak in every room. Gather intel, read tone, feel the rhythm. When everyone else has spilled their mind, you'll have all the power because you know what cards they hold. Your silence should become unnerving, not because you're rude, but because people can't figure you out. They wonder what you're thinking, what you're planning, whether you're judging them or studying them. Good. Let them wonder. Let them fear the unknown in you. That mystery is your armor and your aura. Delay gratification like your empire depends on it. The man who can't delay gratification is already conquered. Pleasure is the leash around most men's necks, soft, invisible, seductive. It whispers promises of comfort, release, and ease. And every time you listen, you trade your throne for crumbs. Understand this. Discipline isn't a tool. It's a declaration, a line in the sand between those who build kingdoms and those who chase dopamine like beggars. Look around you. The world is designed to seduce you. Cheap food, fast validation, instant access to fake intimacy. It's a buffet of weakness disguised as freedom. And men, grown men, are drowning in it. Addicted to attention, addicted to numbing, addicted to escaping themselves. But the man who can sit with discomfort, delay the high, and hold his hunger, he becomes inevitable. Your future is being bought or sold with every small decision you make right now. Every scroll, every indulgence, every moment you choose comfort over strategy. You're selling your empire to feel good for 10 seconds. And most men do this 1,000 times a day, never realizing they've auctioned off their destiny for dopamine drops. Real power isn't about speed, it's about endurance. The kings who lasted weren't the flashiest, they were the most patient. The generals who conquered didn't just charge, they waited, they studied, they starved strategically. There are two versions of yourself at war every day, the king and the child. The king delays gratification to fortify his domain. The child whines for comfort now and pays in regret later. Every time you pick distraction over focus, lust over purpose, indulgence over pain, you crown the child. And make no mistake, he will destroy your throne from the inside. You must begin to gamify your restraint. Treat every denial of impulse like a brick in your fortress. Every time you walk away from a short-term hit, you rise. Every time you say no to what would make you feel good right now, say yes to the version of you that owns room silently. Make this your law. Nothing owns me but mission, not lust, not ego, not distraction. You will walk past temptation not because you're weak for pleasure, but because you are too focused to be pulled. Delayed gratification is not punishment. It is the signature of a high-level man. The world calls it boring, obsessive, extreme. That's fine because the world doesn't build legacies, it consumes them. You are no longer the man who hopes for the best. You are the man who prepares for reality and creates the best through strategy, not sentiment. The game never ends. You think there's a finish line, but there isn't. There is only evolution or decay. The moment you stop climbing, the world starts eating away at what you built. This world doesn't care who you used to be. It watches who you are becoming. Every sunrise asks you the same question. Will you keep building or start decaying? You must stay hungry even after you're full. Stay sharp even when there's no threat in sight. Stay cold even when life tries to warm you into complacency. Power is not a one-time hit. It's a pulse you have to keep pumping with discipline, vision, and ruthless maintenance. Let other men retire into comfort. You were not built to rest. You were built to reign. And reigning is not about sitting on a throne. It's about operating with precision. It's about showing up when no one's watching. It's about pushing through when no one applauds. You don't need motivation anymore. You need a code. Something written in your bones that doesn't flinch when pressure hits. Something that cannot be negotiated, no matter how sweet the temptation. Let them think you're obsessive. Let them mock your silence, your solitude, your systems. While they chase balance, you chase dominion. While they ask for ease, you demand standards. While they watch hours burn on distraction, you own every second like it's currency. That's the difference between men who are remembered and those who are recycled by history. But don't mistake movement for mastery. Don't just grind, refine. Don't just wake up early. Become strategic with your hours. Don't just lift weights. Build durability in your soul. The game is not just about output. It's about direction, accuracy, and timelessness. The man who thinks long game is the one no short-term impulse can touch. He is unshakable, unhurried, unbreakable. You must be able to look in the mirror and know, if this all collapsed today, I'd rebuild faster, better, and colder because the tools are internal now. The mindset is forged. The weakness is dead. You've become the weapon, and weapons don't panic. They execute. The old you asked, what do they want me to do? The new you asks, what do I need to accomplish? The old you sought approval. The new you commands respect. The old you played their game by their rules. The new you creates your own game with your own rules. You are not here to be understood. You are here to be unstoppable. You are not here to be comfortable. You are here to be consequential. You are not here to fit in. You are here to stand out through the sheer force of what you build, not how loudly you announce it. From this moment forward, you move like a strategist. You think like a tactician. You build like an architect of your own empire. Every morning you wake up and build your kingdom brick by brick again, not because it's gone, but because that's the cost of keeping it strong. Maybe you'll become a symbol, a blueprint others study in silence, a name whispered with respect in rooms you've never entered. But that's not your goal. Your goal is deeper. Your goal is inner domination, to master the inner chaos, to never lose yourself, no matter how loud the noise gets, because the greatest enemy always lives within. So here's your final truth. The game never ends, and that's your greatest advantage, because the weak look for finish lines. The strong, we look for the next war, not because we love destruction, but because we love evolution. The battlefield is where we sharpen. The climb is where we remember who we are. The pain is where we become sovereign. You are no longer just a man. You are weaponized will, sculpted by pain, focused by silence, protected by boundaries, and powered by strategy. You are not here to be liked. You are here to be unforgettable. You are the storm in human form. The question isn't whether you'll change. It's whether you'll change by choice or by consequence. Choose wisely, choose strategically, and choose now. Because the world doesn't wait for men who can't decide who they want to become. And you've already decided. Comment below, I am the architect of my own power. Not as a wish, as a declaration, as a warning, not a hope. This is the line in the sand. Cross it and there's no going back. But if you're ready, steel yourself, because now we begin the construction of a weapon. You.